Okay, everyone, welcome to episode 52 of the Craptacular podcast, Lesbian Talk.
Stop it. Stop it. She's going to take advantage of the fact that
Talk.
Stop it. That we are recording this in Northern Ireland, actually.
Yeah.
On her camera, which means it'll have to be extracted and written to MP3. And so, for a few reasons, it's not going to be as diligently sound edited in Audition by me. So, there's going to be a lot of... and
You're going to hear what I'm really like, and unless you actually see me in vlogs. And,
she's a lot more succinct when I do the editing, so...
This is true. And the audio is a little bit... Probably a little echoey, I'm guessing, because... We're recording it on the camera I use for Hagen, but I usually use a directional mic, which softens it and makes it a bit more directional. So you should be hearing it slightly louder and more echoey a little bit. I figured we had two bad possibilities. This was less bad in this situation.
There's also two cats running around in the room, so you might
hear meows.
Overhear them. So, but yeah, so
and one of those cats can be seen if you go to the Siege review and look at the Siege flubs. You can see Pippa, the black and white one. She's here.
So, what have we been up to?
Yeah, this is going to be another travelogue type episode because we just came back from just about 48 hours?
A whirlwind tour.
About 48 hours in London. Possibly a little bit more, possibly a little less. My mind is a bit clouded.
And it was about as eventful as the 3-hour tour, so. Yeah.
3-hour tour?
Yeah, Gilligan's Island.
Oh,
a 3-hour tour.
I have no idea.
You know Gilligan's Island.
I know it exists, and there's people who crash on an island, and I don't know why they never escape.
Because, well, actually, there's this whole theory, and it's on the internet somewhere, that each of the people on the island represent one of the 7 deadly sins. And Gilligan is the one who's the idiot who's always messing up their escape attempts. He's actually the devil, and it's his job to torment them.
You Americans and your silly television. Why can't you stick to like sensible things like Edwardian adventurers who get frozen in ice and then wake up in the 60s and have to kill criminals in a kids show involving prostitutes?
Just think about that whole entire sentence and you get
Adam Adamant is the best show ever.
So we went to London.
Yes, we did.
My first time in England. My first time in London.
This is the most Eastern you've ever been in the world.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Although it didn't feel very foreign. It felt like New York City.
Yeah, now you finally understand something I said whenever we went into Ottawa when I looked around and said this looks like an English city. Because you were like, wow, this does look like Canada.
Yeah, it did.
It felt like New York,
it did have a feel of Canada, but so yeah, we caught a flight from Derry's little airport, which is cute. It was nice. To Stansted.
Stansted, yeah. Originally, because our hotel was in Feltham. So we were going to go by Heathrow, but it was really inconvenient. We could have easily been stuck in Belfast like for years. So we went for the less convenient, but more convenient at the same time. And this is way too much information to give you.
Yeah, so we got into Stansted and we had to...
I'm tired, I'm sorry.
Whoa. We had to catch a train to the place where we could find the underground. And we saw the coolest thing on the train.
The Stansted Express.
Yes. So... there was a whole bunch of terraced houses?
Terrace, yeah.
Row houses. And with their back patio that faced the tracks. And on one of them, a little fox was curled up and sleeping. It was the best thing ever.
I missed it.
I said, look, a fox. And you were like, what?
I missed it.
Well,
the train was going a bit fast.
That's true. So, yeah, so we've been on the underground and the overland and the, yeah.
We used a plane, a train, and an automobile today.
Pretty much, yeah. And we ate things the like of which you can't even imagine. That's not true. We didn't eat anything untoward.
Okay, first day, we got there Saturday, we go to the British Museum.
That was really awesome, by the way. Got to see the Rosetta Stone. Got elbowed in the ribs by a French teenager with headphones and her iPhone, shoving people out of the way to be first, so that was kind of an international experience for me.
I was the cruise director on this one, so I sort of stuck to things that were A, free, and B, Omega would probably like.
Mm-hmm.
So we British Museum the fuck out of the British Museum. Oh yeah.
And then we had to get on the underground.
I showed you a marshmallow.
Yeah, I got to see a mummified bug man.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that episode of Ren and Stimpy, because of course you all are.
Or if you're familiar with the movie Legend of the Bog / Assault of Darkness starring Vinnie Jones.
Nobody just say, it's a mummified bog man! It's from Ren and Stimpy. So that was kind of cool. We saw Mummies. Mummies were very popular. Freaking everyone in the world wanted to see the Mummies.
I love the British Museum.
Oh, and by the way, when you're watching the visual, all of these pictures will be up for you to peruse and enjoy. So there you go.
I love the British Museum. It is such a good history museum. Basically, when we were walking up to it, I was like, prepare yourself. This is the holy of holies when it comes to archaeological museums.
And it really was. I mean, we saw so many amazing things.
The only continent that's not really there in some way is probably Antarctica, but then again, there's not much history there, to be fair.
Except for the aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Are you trying to tell me that Alien vs. Predator was some sort of a documentary? I didn't realize that real life was that shit.
No, but so then we had to go to the underground to get a train to go to Feltham, and that's where we were. And she keeps saying it was the ghetto, but it looked like, CK and like Upper Darby, just a regular kind of place. And
Well, we wouldn't call it ghetto. It wasn't the best part of London, though.
it was alright, And we were staying at the Travel Lodge in Feltham, beautiful Feltham.
The reason we're giving this a little bit of information because there will be ranting later on.
This will be important later, so there will be a quiz. And then we got back on the train to get back on the underground to go back in the city.
Yeah, we went because of the inconvenient stuff. Basically, we had to go via go from the British Museum before we went to the hotel. So we still had our baggage because, idiot.
We've carried things through most of the empire at this point.
Yeah. But getting after we got back into London, because Saturday, we had about 3 hours of train journeys at various times.
Yeah.
Usually going the same way twice.
Which was good because it means we were sitting down for that part.
Yeah. The rest of the time we were standing up because the British Museum makes you do that. And a lot of people shit on the British Museum because of the Elgin Marbles thing, and I gotta say, those things from the Greeks were not looking after them. The place was turned into a church and then a mosque and then a powder garrison, although the Turks did that. And then it got blown up and then people were using it as parts of their houses and stuff. I doubt that half of this stuff would have survived this long if it wasn't for Elgin.
Yeah. Sorry
Bye-bye,
about that.
Mary.
The cats just figured out how to open the door with their claws, so they're out of here.
Bye-bye.
But, so we went to a Brazilian / Pan-Latin place for dinner, which was pretty cool. And it was on the Thames River, and a lot of the...
Down, South Bank.
Yeah, mid-20s to mid-30-somethings were out, better dressed than we were, but our pounds were just as green as anyone else, so...
Our pounds were just as
whatever
golden-ish and hopefully not fake.
Yeah. But the thing was that this restaurant automatically added a 12% gratuity, which was unfortunate because Americans usually tip at least 20, so...
Yeah, so they
kind of shorted themselves that way.
conned themselves a little bit.
Because I was paying for that meal and I was going to tip 20%, so...
Because she's American.
At least 20.
But the weirdest thing happened when I left when we're leaving Waterloo.
Yeah.
We were just walking down the steps of Exit 5 of Waterloo. If you're
Like
English, you know what's going on there. Just wandering down, and then suddenly I spot an old friend of mine who I literally haven't seen in probably 3 or 4 years. And she spots me.
And they were like, oh, it's you. And I was like, what?
Yeah, and she asked us if we were in town because of the LGBT Film Festival that's going on right now, apparently. And I was like, no, we're just over to look at museums. And she's like, well, there's a film festival going on. I'm like one of the head people in it. So, do you want to, we're having a party tomorrow night. Do you want me to put you on the guest list?
We were like, yeah, sure.
It's like, it's just down there at the film theater. So I was like,
yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, yeah, the next night we ended up at this exclusive LGBT queer bash with an open bar at the London Film Theatre right beside the South Bank Centre.
Like you do. But you're getting ahead of yourself.
Okay.
So, the first day, we get back, and finally take a shower, because I'm American, and I must shower every 12 hours or there's a problem. And so, all right, we'll get up, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, everything's good to go. And I confess we'd been lulled into a false sense of security. We got some snacks.
Yeah, Saturday was pretty much a perfect day.
Yeah, we went to Asda, to the supermarket, got some snacks. Stop it.
was thinking about you.
Yeah, well.
You do keep me hanging on.
Okay.
Oh,
So we're in bed watching BBC. We're like, oh, tomorrow's going to be this great day.
We're going to look at the Science Museum and the Natural History Museum, and we're going to look at the TARDIS, and totally we're not going to have any transport problems.
Nope. And this is where our troubles began.
Oh, yeah.
So we get up and we're like, all right, get the shower, get out these things and stuff. So we go to the train station to find out that it's Sunday. There's track work being done. There's maintenance work. So we have to get a bus to Hounslow where we can get a train to Waterloo. And we're like, all right.
It's the next station.
Right, so the station master, who had a really strong accent, I don't know where he was from, he was like, yeah, you just go down and around and it's right there. So we, of course, had to go up the thing and down the woods and to grandmother's house we go. And we joined a long queue of people waiting for this bus. So 3 buses came that were going to other places. And so,
which is really weird considering we were looking for the one to take us into central London. Everyone else is like little places that are even further out that you wouldn't have think that they would really be. You'd think they'd have many more buses going into central London than going to the little places outside from the little places outside, you know?
You know, it being one of the most important cities in the world and all.
Yeah, but it's apparently everyone's going to Eton, Windsor or whatever it was at the end. Oh, we want regatta! No one wants to go into Waterloo Station!
So, finally, a pack-full bus showed up. We're like, all right, everybody on. He's like, no, I'm going to Twicket upon Hammersmithville. And we're like, ugh. And finally this one woman got all American about it. And she's like, you need to call somebody because... Actually, she said, is there anyone you can ring? But, you know, we finally got all pissed off. And then the next bus was empty, so we all got on. And then we were on the bus for a while. And then
this was half an hour after our train was due. The replacement bus that turns up.
So then the bus stops in the middle of a street because there's some road work. He's like, all right, well, the station's like right over there. So then we walked for about a half to 3/4 of a mile to the station.
Yeah, which wasn't a straight line, which was nice of them. But it's like the rail replacement bus can't even get round the fucking roadworks or doesn't know the area enough to take us to the fucking train station. We have to walk.
So we achieved Hounslow, finally. And then we got the bus, or the train, and the train left about, 10-15 minutes later. So we finally get to Waterloo Station. So we realized we did not have time
we got in probably...
like 10:30?
It was at least an hour after we were supposed to be there.
So we're like, all right, we're not going to have time to go to Earl's Court to see the TARDIS. Oh, well, we'll handle that.
The photos of Omega in front of the TARDIS acting like the Doctor are going to have to wait until she comes back in August.
Yeah. So we get to Waterloo, and so we're like, all right, we need to take this line to go to yonder, to go to here. All right, we're fine. So we get to the platform we're supposed to be to go to yonder, and there's just this guy there saying, nope, no trains, no trains. You have to do this. And we're like, well... And there was a woman in front of us who's like, I what now? So he comes over and he's like, hey, my friend, so what you need to do is you need to go down to take the Twicket upon Hamsterville Lane into the, the Bakerloo Street?
We were going to the Piccadilly line.
And then you have to go take this one to Brussels, and then take this one down to North Africa, and then back up to Texas, and you'll be right there. And we're like,
to be fair, this is the one part I semi-expected, because it's always underground railworks that at some point, when you're travelling in London on the underground in the weekend, you're going to at some point get fucked over that way.
But by that time, we had walked several miles just to find any kind of life.
Yeah, it was the Hounslow thing that really fucked me over. It was not the underground thing. But the underground thing, so we go via Piccadilly Circus to go from Waterloo to South Kensington. Okay. We still have to make a connection. It's a couple of extra stops. It's not that big a deal.
So we got there. And we did the Natural History Museum and the Science Museum. Now, I want to explain that, like New York City, London has a lot of people. Now, about 90% of them are below the age of 5. A further 87% of them were in our immediate vicinity. And a further 100% of those were all shrieking at the same time. Mommy, I want a thing and stuff. I want to see that. Oh, can we go on that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Upon many occasions, I say, I'm so glad we don't have children.
And the Natural History Museum, a couple of things we wanted to do. Look at the Earth galleries, because Omega has a major metaphorical hard-on for geology.
I love stones.
We also want to look at the dinosaurs because, standing around with the animatronic T-Rex and watching it scream at children is hilarious.
I wanted to see the dinosaurs.
And there was the human body section, although I thought that was in the Science Museum, but it's not.
I wanted to see a dick.
And So we got to do the geology thing,
which is cool.
Unfortunately, they're redesigning for the first time in probably 40 years the entrance to the Earth Galleries section. So everyone's going around the fucking side doors when they're really, really impressive. Put a photo up of this.
Yeah, I'll Google
this
it.
This is one of the most impressive sites in London, and they're replacing it this week. It was finally got rid of about a week and a half ago, and this was one of the things I wanted to show Megan. This is one of my favourite sites in London. And I discover about a week and a half ago that this was going just before Omega comes to see it. This cathedral of
science.
And, in geology and, characters and stuff. And then you got the big fucking escalator into the cast iron earth. This is one of the most brilliant...
Suck it, young earth creationists.
I fucking loved that display. And it's gone now. And I got really upset.
You did, that's true.
And it's... Then, of course, when we arrive in the area, the escalator's still there and the earth's still there, but the statues are all gone and that whole room is off limits. So you have to, if you want to get to the simplest of fucking places, you got to go around that really, really inconvenient thing.
We went up every stair ever. I mean, just to let you know.
To try and get back, to the central gallery of the Natural History Museum is usually, it's a long journey anyway, and this one it was a fucking major. And
it's this huge hallway that looks like it might have been a cathedral at one point, and there's these great huge marble staircase, and Charles, this huge, and I'll have a shot of this huge statue of Charles Darwin sits upon, a throne like the Lincoln Memorial, surveying all that science hath wrought. And it's this huge, huge hall. And if you can imagine, it was all divided up into this huge line that snaked back and forth. And we thought it must be for some exhibit. So I went to go use the bathroom, and I got out. Hagen was looking very dejected and said, "You know what that's the line for?" And I said,
this
what?
Line in the middle of the fucking room, right beside the giant Brachiosaurus.
It's the line just to see the dinosaurs. And I said,
permanent exhibit. This is the last day of a special exhibit for picture, wildlife photography. That's where I saw the animal sex exhibit. That's where I got it when I first encountered green porno. And it was like, this special thing, it's finishing today, and everyone's going to see the fucking dinosaurs, which we want to see.
So we decided to give that a miss.
Yeah, so...
And so my feet were hurting. I had a lot of blisters, and we were both hungry. And so we're like, all right, we'll go to the Science Museum, and we'll get some lunch there.
It took us 15 minutes to get there, even though it's next door.
Through all the strollers and bullshit. And so I was like, I don't care what we do, I just want to sit down and get some food. So we looked, okay, there's a sign that says, on the second floor is the cafe. So we get on the elevator, it's only to find that it went right past the second floor because the second floor is closed.
Well, no, we didn't realize that. So we went up to the third floor, went down to the second, discovered the entire second floor is closed, got back up, went back downstairs to the first floor, went onto the lift, and then managed to find a cafe. Yep. But it was rather expensive.
It was.
And then we had to eat upstairs after more stairs, all the stairs ever.
Oh my god. So, yeah, we finally saw
with all the children. But the second floor...
Mommy, I want a thing, I want to sweet it. Oh, you got everything. Oh my god.
The second floor of the Science Museum had one of the big things I wanted to show Megan. The Science Museum, which of course is a fully working difference engine.
I know, right?
And it's all fucking closed.
Second floor is closed. We did see the 18th century medical exhibit because I really wanted to see that.
Yeah, it was cool.
And they had the collection of George III, and these just amazing. It was this very quiet gallery. It was very, a lot of unfortunately, a lot of the pictures didn't come out that well because of the low lighting and the glare. So the ones I have, I'll put up. But it had this incredible steampunk looking kind of thing, and it would say, Sooth's apparatus was designed to things and stuff. It bears the plaque, given to His Majesty the Prince of Wales upon... Like, all of these incredibly complicated, though functional, scientific apparati given to the king. And I have this mental image of, some scientists be like, well, your Majesty, it's what you do is there's marble chips here, and you pour in the acid like so, and you put the water in, and carbon dioxide filters up through the water, and it's carbonated, and then you turn this crank to generate electricity from the brass on the glass, and connect it, and like, kings were like, wow, yeah, that's...
Yes, George's like...
That's beautiful.
That's amazing. Can I put my feet on it? Because I feel like putting my feet up.
No, but I can just, how you give someone a present, sure, yeah, I'm going to put this right over here, and yeah, once the servants are out of here, I'm totally gonna
Invent Coca-Cola.
generate some electricity and commit some osmosis. Thank you. It's lovely. I just
But the stuff up on the 4th and 5th floor, which is about the history of medicine and things.
that was pretty awesome.
That was
They had
part
like an
of,
iron lung and stuff about just all cool, great stuff.
and lots of prosthetic limbs.
Trumpanation and just one.
Yeah, they had like one part which was like full of dioramas and
That was pretty
recreations,
cool.
and then the top floor they had like an entire history of medicine.
Now, one of the dioramas was like full size with mannequins and everything, and they chose a time period that I beg to differ with. It showed a man using a winch that was bolted to the top of his looked like an early model Volvo, and it said "Transportation of a disabled person, 1980." I was born in 1980.
Were you in the UK? Maybe that's what it was
No,
like
but
for
then
the
they had
UK.
another one that was like intensive care in 1980, and it looked like it was straight out of 1972, and I was like,
It's the UK. You earlier on this trip, you joked how the UK is 10 years behind America.
I know.
There you go.
But still, and then they had this little thing like dedicated to 100 years of psychology. Brought to you by and funded by the British Psychological Society, which is the board that I believe will be accrediting my degree once I've graduated. And it was stuff like discredited intelligence tests, and like
It's
had
a museum, though.
Yes, I know, and that's cool. But it had like these bullshit captions like part of the work of a psychologist is being a storyteller, and all this stuff that really merged Freudian psychoanalysis. It was just it was not very well done. I would have liked to see one about the asylum system and like the real history of psychology and psychotherapy.
I'm sure there should be a museum like
There
that.
probably is somewhere,
But
but I want to go there instead.
On the top floor, they had stuff from the Henry Wellcome
Yeah,
collection.
this was pretty cool.
Wellcome was an American who moved over to England and made a lot of money and was just collected random shit. And he's got a bunch. His collection is still continuing to grow after his death.
It's like the Mutter Museum if it wasn't just medical oddities, if it was just all sorts of things and stuff.
Yeah, and his stuff has turned up in many museums. Like some of the stuff they have there was added after his death when he sort of
Like some
created
things
an
were like
institute.
this piece is not available. It's being used for study, or it's on loan to so and so.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff was stuff he collected himself. Now there's a permanent exhibit of his up in Euston, which I really wanted to take you to, and it's really fantastic. You have like random shit like Charles Darwin's cane, some locks of hair from George III, Napoleon's toothbrush. You've got like art. You've got like body parts and stuff. It's just the guy collected random shit. They should do an oddities type show based on that.
They really should. Well, there was one documentary made about it called, I think, The Phantom Museum, by the brothers Key, Quay.
Oh yeah, I
in
want to see that.
2002, and you see, I wrote it down but I remembered it anyway.
I want to see that.
So if you're interested, you can totally check that out. But we couldn't tarry long. In fact, we couldn't tarry long anywhere because we had to find some dinner and then get to this gay thing. So we're like, all right, well, there's an exhibit. It's called what was it? Cosmos and Culture?
Cosmos and Culture, yes, and they had this picture of like a 1950s pulp astronaut.
And it said like, the culture of science fiction. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be
and
great.
since last time I was in the Science Museum, which was like 3 years ago, they actually had an exhibition on the history of British science fiction. So I thought, oh, this is the same exhibition.
Yeah.
This was fun. I will take Omega there. I don't know if you'll edit that or not. I hope you do.
You told me not to, but
here.
So it'll be alright. So basically, it was some telescopes and a pile of Ray Bradbury books and an action figure, and then the rest of it was clocks and pocket watches for some reason. We were like,
it's a good collection.
What?
Collection.
It was a collection. What did you call them? You said they were a bunch of clock suckers.
Yes, they were.
But we were like,
Well, they had one of the clocks there was like 900 years old. Is it
Yeah,
the
that was
second
kinda
oldest clock in Europe? Or
and we saw the first steam locomotive, the rocket.
Stevenson's rocket.
So then we're like, all right, well, you know what? We want to go to this Thai place. This place had been hyped up to this Thai place. It's going to be so good. So you know what? We'll go and, hey, we can book online. Because they had free Wi-Fi. Because I'm an American outside of my country, of course, every time I sit down in a place, I whip out my phone. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here. But they have Wi-Fi at the museum, so we'll make a reservation. We'll get the underground. We'll get dinner. We'll go to this queer party. take transit home, and we will chill out in the room, maybe get some chicken wings from room service. You know, I had
Things
some
will
cider.
be good.
We'll watch BBC and just chill the fuck out. It'll be great. So we find out that the place isn't open until an hour and a half or so after we wanted to be there.
After we wanted to be at the queer party.
Yeah, so we're like, well, we were like, all right, that's fine. There's got to be a restaurant somewhere in London, especially in this area where we're going to be. We'll just play it by ear. We'll just find a place.
We'll get to South Bank. They have Wagamamas. You can eat very quickly there. So we're going to go there. But then we get to the underground, and in order to get to Waterloo, the way we're gonna have to go round by Piccadilly Circus again. But they had 40-minute delays, so we decided, okay, we can't do that. We'll go the other way, which takes us to Westminster, which I believed inaccurately was the station that was directly across the walking bridge from the London Eye and that sort of area. But no, Waterloo is Westminster is one across, so we had to add another 25 minutes to us for walking from Westminster down to the South Bank.
Because the station that you thought it was Embankment, which is shut until November.
Yeah, it's at least it might not be shut entirely, but it's definitely shut on many lines.
Right. So we ended up near the House of Parliament and the Statue of Boudica. So like, all right, we'll cross the bridge, we'll go under the first wheel, we'll get there eventually. So we did that, and we finally got to this area where like it's like nearly time for this party. We're not gonna have time for dinner.
Yeah. So then Omega sat down by the Thames and was thinking, my life is so bad right now. It's so terrible. While I was running around the fucking South Bank area trying to find Wayne, because there was the National Theatre and there's the National Film Theatre, and I was just told theatre. So I was like, okay, ran between the two, found out the National Theatre was closed down. I knew the party was on the top floor of one of them. The National Theatre has many floors. The National Film Theatre appeared to be one floor underneath an arch of a bridge. So I was like, okay, can't do the National Theatre, even though that's the one that actually has floors. Ran around the fucking film theatre about 18 times trying to find a way in, and it turns out...
literally 18.
Then I found out the one way in, which clearly was just entering into a restaurant or a bar, was actually the way to enter the whole fucking thing.
So she found the first person that looked kind of gay.
Yeah, we went in after I finally worked this out, and he was gay.
And so he took us to the top floor, and we ended up at this event. Now we're coming up onto the half, but one of the people who was at this event was an artist named Quicksilver, who performed, who also had his CD for sale, and we talked to him, and he has said, and we're going to have his information up, we're going to have his album cover, and all of the contact information if you want to, like his Facebook page, you know, all that kind of stuff, but he has agreed to let us use his music as some of our new mix, so we've got a few more of Tony Goldmark's songs that we're going to go through off his album, but this is going to be a track from Quicksilver's album, so...
Yep, Quicksilver was a lovely guy, and he's really talented, and he honestly,
sounds like a lot like Voltaire.
And visually, he looked like a drag queen playing a drag king version of Hagen,
if you can imagine. But we're gonna break and give you one of his songs. The exciting conclusion of how the hell I get myself into these situations will come after the break. Obviously, because this is a special travelogue episode, like the others, there will not be a story from the store. Giovanni's at home, probably watching Netflix, so he'll be back with a trivia question, and we will not be doing the dictionary, but then again, you know how that is.
My ladies, lords, and others in between, do your dirty deeds feel all too clean? Well, tonight we're here to queer the scene and descend round the bend to a place you've never been, where we'll be stealers dealing in delusion, kings and queens of sexual confusion, masters of the lame and the maimed, wild bucking beasts that shan't be tamed. It's a one-way trip, no coming back again. From this journey into darkness, decadence and pain, we'll rule the wretched, the ruined and the wrong, as we all sing along to the siren song. nothing's ever as it seems. Oh no, no. Cast off the chains of original sin, flex your broken limbs and dive on in. The water's warm and so is the wine. Come enjoy, girl and boy, have a mad, bad time playing Russian roulette without rules or regret. But don't fear, don't fret, let's just get wet as we set the sinning wheel a-turning, conspiring in the fire while our souls start burning. Every taboo, every last known vice is free to consume here, but comes at a price. In this home for wanton wastes and strays, dykes with dicks and grade A gays, it's time. Nothing's ever as it seems. Unlock your mind, let madness unwind, that you leave your mortal cares behind. Friends and fiends, ghouls and girls, I am Quicksilver. Welcome to the underworld.
Hey, we're back. You need to be also talking as well.
Sorry. Hey, we're back.
We're trying to make the cat make a noise. I don't know if the mic actually picked that up. One of the kittens makes little raccoon noises when you shine a laser pointer around, so.
Yeah, bring him near the camera. So.
He has to see it, honey. He has to know it's there. He's so cute.
He's adorable. He is white with sort of grey and yellowish tabby parts, and he looks like a regular short hair from the front, but from the back he looks like more like a semi-Persian. So I think he's got a bit of like Norwegian forest cat or something in him. His ears are very fluffy.
Fluffy. But when last you left us, which was about like a few minutes ago, we had just stepped foot into this totally queer party that we didn't know anybody. We didn't know why we were there. We were...
Well, to be fair, you didn't know anybody. I knew about 4 people in the room, and I was sort of like singled them because I hadn't seen them in many years.
Well, I was feeling all self-conscious because, so, all the gay people I know of every stripe, gender, and everything else are always so fabulous. You know,
Yay.
Like they're always like, oh, well, you know, I just do things and stuff, and I do poetry, and I'm really talented in things and stuff, and my hair is awesome, and I dress wonderfully, and
Does this
and
include me?
Yes, and I'm
Oh,
like,
dear.
well, I play Xbox. Would you stop drinking? You're gonna make drinking noises.
I'm drinking lemon Fanta because you Americans don't have it.
Don't make drinking noises. So yeah, so we're at this thing, and I'm like very intimidated. I was like, how do I get into these situations? Oh, Jesus Christ. But there was free Wi-Fi there, which was a good thing. But then we were approached by someone.
But wait. People I knew, a bunch of people who I had not seen in many years. So I wanted to give out shout-outs to Tessa, Christine, and Martha, and of course Ross Caveney, the poet and novelist, who I get on with. And at one point I took a trip to the London Film Museum with her, and we were going to film it and put it on Blip, but there was a snafu with the camera person, so it was just us two without a camera. That was the same day that I went into London. I met the guy from the London Ghost Bus tour in Starbucks.
Oh, right.
That was the exact same day.
But yeah, so I was like, I want to kind of leave. I don't know anybody. I'm in a foreign country. I don't like chicken wings.
We got to stay here for at least an hour.
So then this guy comes up to us.
And honestly, he well, you think he's called Lars? I couldn't.
I believe his name was Lars, but it was very loud, so I wasn't.
And he basically, this is very apt for a gay party, but I know you're listening because you mentioned that you listen to Lesbian Talk on Blip.
Sidled up to you and goes, Herr Hagen,
Yes, but I just want to tell you, on the way back on the train, we worked out who you reminded of us of.
Yes.
Us of. You're basically like the gay love child of Owen Citizen and Rantasmo, but
True
English.
fact. So he was like, oh my gosh, I wondered why there wasn't a lesbian talk this week. And we're like, yeah, so, things and stuff. And then we were eventually joined by his friend Plums, who was a very nice person also.
Who knows some people I know, which is weird.
And so it ended up being really cool because, we got to hear Quicksilver, and then there was another artist, and their name is CN, just C like cat and like number noodle.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of their new album is, but they're on iTunes. Imagine a more soulful kind of Tori Amos.
And they did a
Like they're really thick, kind of jazzy almost voice.
They did a really good cover version of White Wedding by Billy Idol.
Yeah. So if you can find their album, totally throw a few bucks their way because I intend to get it when I get home to my iTunes.
And we are deliberately using the they pronoun because
that's what they prefer. So.
Yeah, they do not care. Singular they pronouns don't care for the gendered ones.
Yeah, they're not twins. Although that'd be pretty cool. Conjoined twin, like one plays the piano and the other sings. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That sounds a little bit similar. That sounds a little bit like what Amanda Palmer tried with Evelyn, which me and Lars... We're going to call you Lars because we're not entirely sure that was your name. I apologize. You're sending me a message on Facebook, but I haven't checked yet.
If you're Lars, write the show.
Yeah, we were talking about that and how... and stuff. But yeah, the party was fun. I ended up buying a copy of Quicksilver's album, and...
Total class act right there.
Yeah, and I talked to him, he said we could use some of his tracks on Lesbian Talk, and honestly, if we can put it together, I wouldn't mind having him on as a guest at some point.
Oh, totally.
Also ran into this guy. He's the lead actor, and I think he's the writer of this dystopian queer short film that's like 29 minutes long, and he was seeing if we were interested in going, and I was like, I can't go, but please give me the card. I want to look this up. Queer dystopian film. This is perfect stuff for my show.
It was so great because this guy just comes up to me. He's like, "Are you London based?" I was like, "I'm from America, man. Sorry." And she's like, "Oh, no, Northern Ireland." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm just trying to build up buzz for..." And like basically, he's shopping a queer, independent, not entirely horror, but dystopian kind of movie to the most perfect person ever. I want to be like, dude, you know who you just walked up to?
Yeah.
Oh, you had her at hello.
And so I talked to him, and we gave each other details. So hopefully he's going to arrange for me to get a copy of the film. And if it's the sort of thing that's right for Hagen, I'm going to do a review of it from the full thing. If not, I'm going to see about doing a Nana view. At the bare minimum, I intend to do a backseat critique. At the bare minimum.
Because independent film is great. We love it, and so should
Absolutely.
I realize that because we're doing this into a camera, I'm actually making facial, expressions to accentuate what I'm saying, realizing that no one's gonna see that. So I'll be like, with my eyebrows like this, and everyone's gonna be like, what? So we were in kind of high spirits when we left.
Yeah, the day had really turned around.
Although we had a kind of omen of foreshadowing.
Hello to Plums' friend who is hanging out with Argentinians right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you like the show. I don't know if you like Lesbian Talk. And if Plums, if you're listening to this, or anyone else, hello. We met your friend.
We met your friend, Plums. Bragging rights. You didn't meet us, but you might at some point. But so we got out of there, and we're looking around, and someone comes out of the restroom and says, "What you looking for?" And I said, "Lift." And they said, "I don't think there's a lift." Yeah, there's not a lift. And we looked at each other and we're like,
How did we get here?
How did we get here? We came up in a lift. Like, I had a total, Doctor Who moment. Like, I was really afraid, a Cyberman would come around the corner and be like, we have no lifts here.
I was, very existential. It was just something reality is suddenly shifting under our feet.
So then somebody else came out from the other direction and goes, oh, yeah, the lift's around the corner. And we were like, okay.
Thank you.
So that was kind of creepy. So then my feet were killing me, and I was tired. I was like, I want to eat some food and watch a show and drink alcohol. So we got down, we got the train out to Hounslow, and everything was perfect.
Yeah, the train for Hounslow was
right there.
And we got to Hounslow, we could leave Hounslow almost immediately.
The bus was right there. Although the driver did have to stop and ask another driver how to get out of Hounslow, but whatever. So we're like, despite the fact that we had to deal with these two people and their screaming toddler who screamed all the way from Waterloo to Feltham, whatever. I'm like, this is going alright. So we pull into Feltham, and we're like, okay, well the grocery store, the Asda, was already closed. But that's okay, because the room service menu is 24 hours.
It said the only timing thing they had said on it was 24 hours.
So we go up, and it's like 9:30. We're like, yeah, so 24 hours, we're going to get dinner. And she's like, oh, no, it's only till 10. And we're like, okay. So I was trying to get the Wi-Fi working so Hagen could look something up for something we were going to do the next day. So she ordered 2 things of wings, which were 5 wings each. Thank you very much, for something like 4 pounds. And a veggie curry.
Yeah, vegetarian curry.
Right, so hands the thing to me, and the woman's like, well. I said, I want this pasta dish. She goes, wool, we don't have any cheese. Although she didn't say wool because she was British, but...
Actually, well, possibly your recollections colored of it by the feelings at the time, but she didn't seem to be as rude as that to me.
Well, that's okay. But she's like, wool, we don't have any cheese. And I was like, well, what can I order? She's like, well, tell me what you want to order, and I'll tell you if you can have it. And I was like... I don't know. So I just picked it like a chicken burger. I'm like, that chicken sandwich. And she's like, okay. And so I was like, well, will you bring it up? She's like, oh no, just wait here. Because it's kind of a cheap place, so they don't have anyone to bring stuff up. I'm like, that's fine, I guess. So eventually she comes out with this huge tray, and it's like 10 minutes before their kitchen closes. 1 order of wings, a chicken curry, and about 1 million tomatoes sliced. Like, literally, there was like this, like the tomatoes that are the size of like a ping pong ball. You know, not cherry tomatoes, but the size up from that. There was at least 5 of them that had been quartered all over every dish, like some kind of festive tomato explosion.
I think what they were doing was, okay, we only got 5 chicken wings. However, if we can put the chicken in the curry, so therefore they're getting as much chicken, and then we can put all the vegetables that would have been in the curry, and we can make them all tomatoes, and we can put them everywhere else.
Yeah.
They get the chicken and they get vegetables. Even though tomatoes are a fruit.
And I looked at the receipt, and it was rung up as chicken curry, and it was rung up as 1 order of wings, but there's nothing we could do about it because the kitchen was not closed. So she's balancing this tray in like the most rickety elevator ever.
And it was a really big tray. And whenever you've got, in retrospect, this is really obvious, but the tray became about a lot harder to carry once the lift was going up.
So we finally get up to the room, and I'm just like, fucking had it. I was like, it was like something like, what, 27 pounds?
22.
22? Okay. Which is a lot in dollars. But, I mean, it's not like, I had set aside money for this trip, so it's not like it's coming right out of my budget or anything.
Everything turned into pounds is basically already spent in your mind.
Right, pretty much. So I was like, fuck it. You know what? We'll go back down to the lobby. We'll use my phone. I'm sure there's a pizza place around here. There's probably a takeaway place. And then she's like, no, London suburbs, Sunday night. And I was like, if this was America, it'd be like 15 to... Are you okay?
Mary attacked... The cat attacked my fingers.
I feel the same way. But I really got all snotty in America. And I was like, well, if this was America, there'd be at least 5 different takeaways.
There might be takeaways open, but I didn't know the area, so I couldn't give you information about where.
So we just watched BBC instead.
And the food was okay, but I would have liked to...
It was not worth 22 pounds, I tell you what.
I will agree with that.
It would have been overpriced regardless of where we got it. So we're like, fine. And we just found out, because Hagen was Googling, that the fish and chip place we wanted to go to, the oldest one in England, right?
South of England, the Rock and Soul place. Which
had been featured on a show that we like a lot, the Supersizers, with Giles Corrin and Sue Perkins. Mm-hmm. Did not open until about the time that we needed to catch the train to get to Stansted to get the flight back.
So the next day we were supposed to meet up with.
Also, we're going to go to Forbidden Planet because somebody, I forget who because I don't have my phone right now. Somebody tweeted at me to go to Forbidden Planet. We had planned, but they also did not open until after.
It was too late. I should have checked this out beforehand, but
everyone, our audience, and those of you listening on Tick with Tick, repeat after me. If Hagen only had a smartphone.
So
thanks everybody.
We had to suddenly change plans and meet up with we're supposed to meet up with my friend Charlie, who
was really cool.
Has never done anything in Hagen, but a friend of mine since long before I'd done the show, and briefly considered starting their own review show called The Historical Inaccuracy Fairy.
I'd watch that.
So we arranged to meet them at Waterloo. So on the other hand, we got 2 hours extra in bed. We did not have to run around. So it had plus points.
Yeah.
And then we got back to Stansted, headed home, and we almost died in a plane crash.
We did. Well, what happened was that we went to this place that it was their breakfast menu, and they got full English breakfast, which involved tomatoes and mushrooms and all sorts of unpleasant things.
I didn't get any tomato. I got an extra egg.
Oh, that's true. But I just got eggs and home fries and bacon, which is the Canadian bacon. It's not, hard, crunchy bacon, which is weird. And beans, like baked beans. Like, they do baked beans a lot here, and I really only eat baked beans maybe once a year, twice a year.
Either you're going to go mad or you're going to have to eat baked beans more than once a year because it happens just as a generic side dish so often in the UK.
I'll get used to it. I just didn't feel like it because
it's like broccoli in America.
Because your mom made sausage rolls and beans for a lunch one of these days, so I ate that. I just didn't feel like eating beans. The waitress was like, "Are you gonna finish your beans?" I was like, "I ate a bean. I've had enough of a bean now." Oh, and I also discovered that I hadn't realized this, but it's not PC to say the word handicapped in the UK.
This is true.
It's uncouth. Because I was looking for the restroom and it was the handicap stall, and then, but it turned out that the woman's was around the corner.
Yeah, after Omega went into the toilet, I explained to Charlie Omega's issue with the word toilet being used as the room, not the instrument, not the implement, the room. And how she felt that was very redneck.
It's very because so if you're and I'm sure.
And then Charlie was like, "Well, when she comes back, you can point out that she referred to the disabled place as a handicapped one." And I'm like, "Oh, I never thought of that. Totally moral high ground."
The words are interchangeable. At least on the East Coast, that's been my experience. But we've had this discussion on Lesbian Talk before. So if you're listening on Tick-Wa-Tick, this is your first time that you've heard this. Like if you're in public, if you're at a store, you're at the mall or something, like, "Excuse me, do you have a public restroom?" And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's just right in the corner there." Or if you're at someone's house, like, "Hey, where's your bathroom?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's up the stairs to the left." But to do it your way, to me, feels like the equivalent of going up to someone in a shop going, "Hey, where's your toilet at?"
On the Hagen Facebook group, I mentioned this.
"I gotta use the crapper. Where's your crapper at?"
At times, both of us sound like a redneck to the other.
I guess.
Just in the UK, the term toilet is most commonly referring to the room and not the thing you sit on.
But you know what's in there. You know what you're there to do. It's not like it's a big mystery.
Yeah, then why use a euphemism?
Because that's just how we do it.
Well, we don't.
Because it's the restroom. It's a public facility of ease.
Your mind must have been exploding going through all these places in England with, like, toilets this way.
I know. It's like, because when I see a sign that says toilet with an arrow, it makes me think that if you go around the corner, there's just going to be a toilet sitting there. Like, in front of God and everybody.
You're going to get used to it.
Well, so then we went back to Stansted. And after, another thing that we did was pork crisps everywhere. We have just bags of crisps because we'll be at somewhere like, "Oh, I've never seen this flavor of crisp before. Let's get." They must have thought that we were smuggling crisps back to Northern Ireland. Is what.
We do not have such a thing over here.
So we're at Stansted and we were going through security.
We wish to replace all of our Semtex with crisps. Semtex is plastic explosives.
Oh. I also have decided that the motto of England, the motto of the UK is crisps on, or no, not crisps, chips. Chips on everything, every day.
Motherfucker.
Chips all the time. But so...
What's the motto of London?
The motto of London is, everything is broken except for today because it's shut. Yeah.
Or the other one is, don't travel on a Sunday.
Pretty much. I mean, and I'm from Philly. I deal with SEPTA. And if you're from Philly, if you're not, Google SEPTA. But...
Septic.
Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. Like, I've dealt with the L Shuttle. Back when they were doing all that work, all that track work. You just take the bus to like 34th Street, and then you get the L. So I've dealt with this kind of stuff, but this was a massive bunch of NIS. So we're at Stansted, and we're getting the RyanAir flight back. And security, actually, there was not a big, huge line, and the woman had this really great accent, which I'm not even going to attempt, and she's like, "All right, soap, toiletries, anything like that, put in here. Darling, got a bill?" I said, "No." And she goes, "What have you got in your pockets?" Because you had to put everything into the bin. And what I had got in my pockets was my wedding ring. What has it got in its pockets, it says. Just a wedding ring. Has it got liquid over 3 ounces? Precious Backenses. Is it greater than 100 milliliters?
Your ring has writing on the inside.
It does. But it has an inscription. But actually, I'm on the way out from Derry Airport. So you have to have all your little toiletry thingies in a clear plastic bag. So the woman takes mine and she took my hair gel. And she said, I'm just going to go test this, okay? And I said, it came from America. I mean, you can throw it away if it's not allowed. She goes, no, dear, I'm just going to go test it, okay? And so she went away and then she came back about a few minutes and she goes, oh, you're good to go. And I don't really understand what it was being tested for. But it was LA Looks Extreme Sport, so...
It obviously looked like it was edible.
I guess. So we get this flight back, and it was actually very nice, just a little bit chilly in England. And so we're on the flight, and they're, flying out. And RyanAir is no frills. Completely no frills.
With RyanAir, you're lucky you get fucking wings on your plane.
Pretty much. So the pilot said...
At one point, they floated the idea, I think either the boss did or the entire company, of charging you £5 to use the toilets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the word toilet just to bother you.
Mm-hmm. So we're on this flight, and we're taxiing to the takeoff location. The pilot says, "Oh, it's going to be rainy and pretty windy in Derry, so it might be a bit of a rough landing. Goodbye." So the flight was pretty eventful. I was reading this book that I found at a bookseller's over there, and
I was reading a gay book.
And then you fell asleep.
That my wife gave me.
Aww. And
At
so
the British Museum too. When I go to London, I like to go to Gaze the Word, the bookshop, but I'm fairly sure it's still running. We didn't get to go this time, but there was a lovely book about gay history and artifacts and stuff in the British Museum.
Yeah,
it was
so
like, ooh, right beside the Rosetta Stone stuff. Good work.
So we started to come into our descent to Derry, and it got really choppy. Like, I thought we were going to do a barrel roll kind of choppy. And we're coming in really hard and really fast, and it's raining. And we touch down, and you know how all of the flaps go up and to reverse the drag, and then he slammed on the brakes so hard I thought the tail end of the plane was going to come up, and we're all like, because I was certain we were going to crash. I was just waiting for the crash to start. You know, like when you're in a car and you have one of those near misses and you're just waiting for the impact. And then, so we slowly, slowed down and started to taxi. And on the way there, apparently, when RyanAir makes a successful landing, they play a little song.
Yeah.
And there were some drunken football louts on our way there. They're like,
the way to London.
Yeah. But they didn't even play it this time, but we all burst into standing ovation, spontaneous applause, because we didn't die. They didn't even play the fanfare, because they knew that they knew. But see, the thing is that it's a good thing that we didn't die on a RyanAir flight, because my father-in-law would have been so embarrassed, he probably would have lied and said, I'm so sorry to hear about your daughter and daughter-in-law on the RyanAir flight. No, they were on an Aer Lingus flight. That's how they died.
Either that or British Airways or possibly Silkair. Or...
Too embarrassed to admit that we died on a RyanAir.
No, they went missing on that Malaysian airline.
Yes, that must have been it.
Malaysian airline. My father is a big fan of Malaysian Airlines. That and Singapore are his two favourite. But then again, he travels to Asia quite a bit.
Pretty much. So
it's like, well, it's like the old days in that the stewardesses are very, very young and attractive, and the food is not piss.
Well, I should hope nothing's piss, really, except for... So he picks us up, it's like, well, how was it? Like, well, we're alive. And we went right to New Buildings to get fish and chips, which was really good, because we were really hungry. And
you finally got fish and chips, the end.
Yes.
See, you can turn this into a, audio book. Omega on London.
Then I got fish and chips. Amen. It's pretty good, the fish and chip place the Chippy.
In New Buildings.
In New Buildings.
Yeah, if you're in Derry, honestly, I don't think I have any listeners in Derry except for maybe, Robin the Minion, who occasionally listens.
No, wasn't there that one person that tweeted at you that one time?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't know if they listen to Lesbian Talk, but they watch the show. But if you do listen to it, go to New Buildings, leave the city. New Buildings, in the centre part, it's called the Village Friar. It's called the Village Friar, and it is the best fish and
Village Friar.
It is the best fish and chip shop in Derry. Trust me.
Bar none.
Tried a lot of them.
I mean, things and stuff. Now, we got a little bit more left of the show,
Yes,
but
this is going to be odd.
we're gonna do a little mini Let's Try because I found something. What shop were we at when we found this? Was it Asda?
No, these were, I'm pretty sure these were the train station shop.
Oh, right.
At Feltham. This is the Feltham train station shop. Now, but these are two things that we do not have in Northern Ireland or in America. Yeah. But if you're English, you probably come across these. And we're not doing visuals for this.
Because you'll just have to imagine us shoving things.
But we got pictures.
Yeah, so there'll be pictures of these up right now, this very second.
Okay, what we got, Omega got, Omega has never had a KitKat Chunky before. And we have a peanut butter flavor.
Peanut butter KitKat. The two great tastes. It tastes great together.
That's almost as good as Japan.
Oh, no, they have like green tea KitKats.
And my one is Aero white chocolate Aero.
It's a limited edition.
Now, occasionally in import shops in America, you can get the regular Aero, which is just milk chocolate, or you can get the mint, maybe even the orange if you're lucky.
Yeah, at Wegmans and at Giant, I've seen the regular mint and orange.
Yeah, orange less common, but this is the first time I've seen a white chocolate Aero.
White chocolate, I don't care.
You're gonna try it in a way because I love you.
I know. All right, so here we go.
KitKat Chunkies are interesting. They're not you know.
It's pretty thick. Oh, look, it's in segments. So here, I'll break off a segment. Give me a break. All right, here you have this one.
Okay.
Live, everybody.
Yeah, the usual KitKat Chunky odd flavors you get, like hazelnut or mint or something.
Well, you can't piss it out because UK chocolate has a lower melting point than American chocolate, so you hold it in your hand for like a second and it's all over you. So.
Melt in your hand, not in your mouth.
This is all good. You know what it's like?
Peanut butter?
No. It's like the peanut butter wafers you'll get, you know, because you have like the chocolate, the vanilla, and the strawberry, and you'll see peanut butter. It's like a peanut butter wafer dipped in chocolate.
I'm giving you the rest of that because you like peanut butter more than I do, and I've got the feeling I will want to eat all the rest of the Aero while you will not.
So what do you think?
It tastes like a KitKat Chunky with peanut butter in it. I'm not the world's biggest fan of peanut butter unless they're inside M&M's.
This is true. I had to bring like 3 bags, like the 18-ounce, over a pound bags of peanut butter M&M's because you wanted some, your brother wanted some, and
that's Teddy.
Teddy the Minion, and Robin the Minion wanted some, and
the Avatar Decent Humor got some Peeps, and Sarah from the Backseat Critiques. What did you get?
I got her a box of Reese's Pieces, and one of the Zittner buttercream eggs.
You see, Omega brings us all these kinds of.
Also, for my nephews and niece-in-law, I think that's how that goes.
They really need a word for that.
Yeah, they do. I found, because they're obsessed with candy corn, and so apparently this is like the best candy ever to children in Northern Ireland. So I actually managed to find at CVS, they had a bag of Easter pastel color candy corn, so I'm leaving that for them. So I kind of felt like I was, some kind of like sweets dealer. I got everything you need.
No, you're more like Santa Claus.
Of candy. Hey!
I can't see.
No, well, see, she tried to be like bowl full of jelly, except for the fact that she like got some like tit action there.
Are we complaining about this?
No, not really.
Are they complaining about this?
Probably not.
There we go.
Hot lesbian action.
Wait a sec. I just had some tit action, and now I'm stroking some pussy.
Leave the cat alone. All right, let's get this arrow over with, because I don't like white chocolate. It's not even really chocolate. It's like
it's not really chocolate, but
fudge.
It's not even white.
Huh?
It's brown on the outside.
Maybe it's milk chocolate.
It's Alfonso Ribeiro.
Wah wah wah. It looks like it's chocolate on the outside and probably white chocolate on the inside.
Ah!
It fell on the floor. Pick it up so the cat doesn't get it. You can get another one.
Really? Got this from England. I gotta get another one.
Go on their website.
I'll fly over to North
I only
England.
want one of the little beanies.
I'll fly over to England immediately.
Yes.
I've lost half of my chocolate bar, which I've spent an entire weekend being all like, I want to try it.
Well, we'll get you another one. All right, ready?
No, you won't. You'll say you will, and you won't.
Nah.
I like this.
It tastes like butt smells. I don't like white chocolate. Nah.
Did you try Carmack?
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
You're like, Gotta make so like
I have never made that noise in my life. Yeah, well. No. We stopped in Waterloo Station at a chocolatier that Charlie was a big fan of, and we got some of those, but we're going to eat them properly. We're not going to try them on air. They will be savored.
Yeah, pralines and stuff like that.
And there's a new thing that I'm going to bring some of these back because I love Cadbury cream eggs, but it's basically like a chocolate biscuit, chocolate cookie, and then Cadbury cream part on top of it. Then the whole thing is dipped in chocolate, like the Girl Scout cookie tagalongs, except a chocolate cookie, and instead of the peanut butter, Cadbury buttercream, and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's Cadbury's cream egg mixed with a British style biscuit.
Yeah, and I'm all because I told some of my coworkers at the store that Cadbury is a year-round thing because it was a Scottish company, right?
English,
and it was bought out by. But didn't they have a plant in Scotland?
probably.
Yeah. But they're bought out by Nestle, right?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't think Nestle owns them.
Well, I think someone owns Cadbury because there was a big thing about it a few years ago. But so I'm gonna get some of the little. What's the assortment? The one that the film brand bought to Magfest a few years ago. Celebrations. So for the break room table because.
Why did they not think that Cadbury's was year round here? Cadbury's is basically our Hershey's.
People don't know that. People only know Cadbury's through the Cadbury cream egg, which in America only appears in Easter. Only in the past few years has it started appearing for other, like the Halloween one.
Whenever Cy the writer, who was in my Naked Killer and Zombie Genocide reviews, whenever he was over, we went to the cinema with him, and he was like, "Oh my God, your cinema has Cadbury's chocolate! Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" And we're like, "Yeah, this is British style chocolate. It's like it's really, really high end."
It's just one of those things that you don't realize. I mean.
Like the fact that in America, Strongbow apparently is not gutter trash cider that people puke up.
Yeah, like I have a lot of friends, past like 5 years or so, maybe even a little bit longer ago, like, oh, I love cider, but I only drink Strongbow. I love Strongbow. It's from England, And so the last time, again, if you're new to the show, you don't know this. The last time I was over in October, went to the grocery because we were doing a film marathon, and I said, "Look at that!" And the what? Strongbow in 2-liter plastic bottles, like it's it's soda, and they were like, basically it is.
And we're like, yeah, Strongbow is anything but hoity-toity.
So when we were in Asda, I was looking for just something cheap to get because I didn't want to buy a whole bottle of liquor because I couldn't go through that in 2 days.
I think you could.
Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. But so there was
a vote of confidence. I'm from Northern Ireland.
True.
That's a compliment.
I'm a varsity drinker. But there was a 4-pack of the tall cans of Strongbow for it was like £3 £3.50.
£3 for one, and then £4 for another.
All right. So, which basically £3 comes out to like $7.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. So I was like, I'll just get this because I don't mind Strongbow and it's cheap. But that same 4-pack at like Wegmans would be like $11.99.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like whenever anything American is over here, like. You can sometimes get like nerds and stuff, but it costs about 3 times as much over here. It's just partly to with importing. It's just people assume because something's imported, it's obviously good when it's not.
But we are coming up on the hour mark, and the camera's gonna die, or no, the length of the tape.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people on Tig who still records on tapes rather than SD cards.
It's metric.
This is like me with the smartphone thing. I do not upgrade unless I have to.
Guys, everybody needs to tweet at Hagen and comment on the DM on Hagen Facebook page or tell the admin of her Tumblr that she needs to get a smartphone. Just has to happen. But next time you will hear from us, we will have, if we can arrange it, we'll have a special guest on to talk about some cool stuff.
We will talk about LARPing, and we're going to talk about a movie that came out recently.
Ooh.
We hopefully have a third person here who is from a third country than from either of us.
Yeah, this is actually something that we hyped a few weeks back, but we weren't really able to set it up. Some timing was off, so we're going to try to do that. And this episode has been recorded on Monday night. Probably won't go up until Friday or Saturday. I get back. I have a double flight to Boston and down to Philly, so I won't be back till Wednesday night. So probably not till the weekend, but.
Yeah, Omega can't start editing the second she gets home. That would not be fair.
Even
me, when I get back from MagFest, it took me like 2 days to get any videos up, even if it was just like the panel or the people watching Chirpy video.
Yeah, I mean...
It takes a little while.
Yeah, and then, because Wednesday's my last vacation day, and then on Thursday I have a 3-hour leasing call, and I have a whole bunch of other stuff to do for my actual job, and although I don't work at the store until Saturday, so...
Yeah.
But, I've been the Omega, and who do you want to have binged it this week?
I want to be married.
She's holding up the kitten.
He's a good cat.
He doesn't entirely look enthused.
He's a good cat.
Bye, everybody.